Hello and welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Romulus Restomod rebuild that we are doing here at the Steam Workshop. In this episode, I will be dismantling the locomotive down to almost every single nut and bolt. The bodywork comes off, the wheels come off, all the motion comes off. I think the only thing I'm not really taking off is the cylinders. This is to aid, firstly, in cleaning and painting. And secondly, as we come to be putting things back on, we make sure anything that needs fixing gets fixed. Towards the end of the video, I will go just a brief run through of the wheels and the motion, and a quick scout around my workspace looking at all the parts of this locomotive. Enjoy the video. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, so here I'm just checking. Well, I already know that the bearings are a bit baggy, so here I'm just demonstrating to camera really. You can actually see how loose these bearings are. All the bearing surfaces are in very good nick. It's the bearings themselves that are worn. They're all two-part bearings, so they're in two halves. One slots in from the back, one slots in from the front, and there's a small groove around the middle which is for the oil flow space. I will probably be doing one-piece bearings when it comes to replacing these and adding washers to faces where it needs it. The crank pin here, that is also very loose. The face of it is really quite marred, and the back side of this one's really quite marred as well, so that's all going to need tidying up in the process. And I'm just going through and I'm checking all the rods really here, and I'm just doing them all on the same pin, because the pins are all exactly the same diameters, so just I can check them, both pins in them, to see if any of them are different. And yeah, you can really tell the difference where they're worn. Moving on to the wheels now. Here I'm going to just go through and check for all the damage to these wheels. Some of the damage is actually just imperfections in castings, but there's a lot of chips on the flange, specifically on this wheel here, which is the front right wheel. This damage was evident while it was on the engine. I'm just going to grab myself a chalk marker and I'll go round, spin them round and mark up all the damage. When the time comes, these will be going onto a Haas CNC lathe, which we can create a digital file to basically put the correct profile on these wheels. Now this wheel here, I think it had like 5 chips. There's a couple of spots where it is a little tiny flat spot on the surface there. Another chip here. It's one of those where you almost want to lose hope when you go around drawing arrows on them. So yeah, there was 6 arrows drawn on this one wheel alone. Onto the other wheels, I checked them all out as well. Predominantly all the other wheels look really good, albeit there was a couple of spots where it was evident there was an imperfection in the casting, and there's one spot here you can just make out that imperfection in the casting. It's not a chip. It's almost just like a bubble. That there is a chip. So that wheel there is the back right wheel. So it may have run over something on the track at some point. But yeah, they're all going to get turned up lovely. Actually going to start on the worst wheel on the turning program, make any adjustments, so all wheels will be turned to the worst wheel size. Okay, next we are moving on to the buffer beam. First port of call here is this small piece of angle iron which the foot plate mounts to. The rivets have come loose. You can really see the bend in the end of the plate. I'm just going to grab a straight edge just so you can see it in reference to what should be straight, instead of me just putting my finger against it. And yeah, it's had a very severe impact on this corner at some point. That's going to need straightening out. Also, the end itself is bent in from, I'm going to use the centre third of the buffer beam as a reference point, and both ends really drop back a little bit, so it's had a knock on both sides. The bottom corner here is the worst deflection in relation to square, so yeah, it's going to take some work. And that's the end of disassembly. Here, all the bodywork is laid out on a shelf here. Lots of cleaning and paint prep to do there. The cladding is down on the floor here. That all needs cleaning up and trimming to fit better. The boiler here, the smoke box will come off tomorrow, and hopefully off tomorrow to the boiler fixer. Over here, the frames have scrubbed up lovely. It's really stripped all the grease off. I've used a combination of caustic traffic film remover and paraffin just to really get all the grease out. Nice clean surface, prepared, ready for paint. Buffer beams straightened out lovely. That's going to actually be in the next video, and all the parts are laid out in my IKEA storage trugs. I like these. They're cheap and they're easy to organise all the parts. Wheels are cleaned up beautifully, ready to go onto a lathe and be turned up. The plumbing, that all needs a good clean and repurposed. It's all going to have different routes, and all the small parts are in these small bins. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.